I'm here with Siemens Head of Business Development Offshore, Ray Thompson.
Good afternoon.
Ray, local sourcing is a hot topic right now. What's Siemens' approach to it in the UK with round 3 coming up?
Well, there are two distinct supply chains really. We're very much focused right now on the operational support to our projects. And whilst the level of local content we'd like to drive higher in those projects, there's obviously a great deal of spend going on in the UK now. So we're using ports, vessels, labour and a whole host of services from the UK. And the UK has a very strong supply chain there from its maritime, its engineering, its oil and gas background. But obviously further ahead we're looking towards production facilities in the UK, and that will be the next big step for the industry as a whole.
What about keeping costs down? I mean, a lot of this local sourcing, there are sort of cost implications that seem to be kind of connected with that.
Absolutely, and we believe very strongly that costs will come down in the industry, but the industry has to make good common sense decisions on local sourcing. Simply driving local content for the sake of it actually has the effect of increasing costs, and we're seeing that with some of the projects in other European countries where we're seeing costs that really we just can't afford in the UK. Mm-hmm. So we really have to drive costs out through sensible procurement in the UK, but it's got to be done where it makes sense. But there should be some real economic advantages for making some of the very large equipment like towers where logistics costs are very high. We should be able to manufacture that in the UK, and the business case should be very strong. So it's very much about doing what makes sense in the UK, and there should be some good common sense reasons for doing that.
Are there any gaps in the UK in terms of the supplier base?
Yes, there's still lots of gaps. Of course, we don't have an indigenous industry that's built up in onshore in the way that Germany and Denmark and other countries do. So there are some very extensive gaps. Cables is very well known, and as yet there are still no turbine manufacturers with production facilities in the UK. So there's a lot of scope for us to go after, but all of the industry, I think, is really focused on driving up that local content, and we're certainly committed to that.
And is there anything that you're doing in terms of working with suppliers already, or is that still, especially with regards to the hull, or is that too far ahead?
No, we've been doing quite a lot of work, particularly through the Crown Estate supply chain events. We've been very involved in that, and we do a number of supply chain events. Still very much focused on that operational supply chain, as I mentioned right now, but obviously that will change as things move forward, hopefully on production facilities in the future.
Great, thanks a lot.